Welcome. This will introduce you to the 3D Experience Collaborative Spaces. Let's catch up on what we already know from previous videos, and then we'll expand on it. We introduced the concept of social media when we introduced the 3D Experience. We said it was a way for us to work together on teams. This is what we call collaborative spaces, and we will learn about them here. We used Facebook as an example. Before you can connect with anyone or have anyone connect with you, you will first need to create an account, just like in Facebook. I'm pretty sure you've all created accounts of all kinds of stuff, and they pretty much all ask the same questions, but each one is a little different. Once you have an account, you can create a Facebook page. Now, in the case of Facebook, your page is created for you automatically when you create the account. Now, you have full control over your page, what you can add, delete, and edit. You can do everything on it. Not every account allows you to connect with other people. Those kind of accounts are called social apps. Now, is 3D Experience a social app? Well, you've probably already guessed the answer to this. The answer is yes. All these are accounts, but only a few of them are social accounts. And then getting back to Facebook, lots of people have created their Facebook accounts. Billions of people have filled their Facebook pages with all kinds of their stuff. Everyone has full control over their own pages. And let's separate that. Everyone has full control over their own accounts, and they have full control over their own pages. These are two different things. Now, you can control who can view and post to your page in Facebook. You can have some friends who can see everything and others who can't. These are called permissions or roles. And in Facebook, you have public, friend, close friends, and family. Those are called roles. Now, we need to be very clear here. Each person has an account and a page. Those are different. Social apps allow sharing. It is not your accounts that's sharing, it's your pages that you're sharing. So for Facebook, you're sharing your Facebook pages. Now, using the Collaborative Space Social app, you can create teams or groups also. Now, you already have a 3D Experience account, but you will need to create collaborative spaces similar to the pages in Facebook. In your collaborative spaces, you can put your stuff. Now, it can be CAD stuff as well as all kinds of other stuff. And it will be these collaborative spaces that you're sharing, not your accounts. So let's discuss these collaborative spaces a little further. Now, as we said, you can put your stuff of all kinds into your collaborative space. You have full control to add, delete, and edit any of the things in your collaborative space. Let's say you're a student. You'll want to create a collaborative space and share it with your instructor. You'll add them as a member to your collaborative space. That will give your instructor access to your completed homework. Now, we're going to talk a little more later about this classroom environment. So 3D Experience will allow you to create multiple collaborative spaces for all the different projects that you may want to have or whatever you would like. Different buckets for different stuff. You control who has access to your buckets. You can determine what roles to give them. In fact, you could have the same person access to two different buckets with two different roles. Now let's get back to the Facebook example. In Facebook, others follow you or send you friend requests. Then you can confirm or ignore them. This is not how it works in collaborative spaces. In collaborative spaces, you don't request access to someone else's collaborative space. You don't send them a request. They add you as a member. And when they add you, they determine what role to give you. So if you want to be added to someone else's collaborative space, then you need to let them know in some way. You need to send them an email or ask them or some way let them know. So now you should be comfortable with the concepts behind collaborative spaces. In just a bit, we're going to go through the actual steps to create and share collaborative spaces. But before going on, we need to take a moment to clarify your 3D Experience account even further. You know, we know that Dassault makes the 3D Experience software. So is the 3D Experience account the same as your Dassault account? Are these the same thing? The answer is no, they are different accounts. Remember back to the login process that we actually needed two accounts just to get logged into the 3D Experience. First, you needed a computer account, and you also needed a 3D Experience account. Those are both company accounts, or in the case of a student, school accounts. All of that is set up and controlled by your company or school. Any social connections will be within your company. Now, Dassault Systems is an outside company. You know, they actually run their own copy of 3D Experience for their own projects. But connections outside your company can happen several ways. But for now, I'm going to tell you this is pretty tough because companies don't like to connect to others outside their network. But for large companies that want to integrate suppliers, this is really the way to go because it formalizes not only who can access data, but communication altogether. Everything can be tracked. But we won't be concerned with this. You know, this is a management decision, so let's just go on. However, you may want to get a Dassault account for many other reasons. There's a lot of really great resources available on their website if you have a Dassault account. Now, this really has nothing to do with your 3D Experience network. It's as if you're outside of the company. You know, just like if you had an Amazon account, it has nothing to do with your company. Now that our side topic is through, let's get back to the details. We are getting into the actual steps to create and share collaborative spaces. Remembering back, this slide showed that many of the things happen under this 3D Experience umbrella. So let's head into the 3DE world and find this functionality. When we open the 3DE software, we must log in to your 3DE account. The compass allows you to view your apps. And there are 4 sectors on the compass, and each has many different apps on it. So there's lots of different apps. There are 3 major kinds of apps: Enovia apps, CATIA apps, and we'll call all the others other apps. But there are 2 different types of apps. Notice the little arrow on the icon. It's the same app offered in 2 different ways. Some apps are web apps, others are computer apps. This app is both. The web app, when you select it, will open a web browser. Now, just a small note, the Chrome browser doesn't work because it doesn't support Java, and Java is required for the 3D Experience portal. As the browser opens, of course, you're going to be asked to log in. So 3D Experience can run two ways, as software on your computer, but also as through a web portal. Now, some apps work only on the computer. Some apps run only in the web portal. And some apps run in both. In fact, there's even a phone app where you can do some things also, but we won't use it at all. I'm sure that you've all had accounts, software accounts like this. So whatever platform you're on, you have to log into it. This is why when you logged into the 3DE software, didn't mean that you were actually logged into the 3DE web portal. The app we need is only a web app. So it opens an internet browser window, and of course you're going to log in. Now you don't even have to pick the 3D Space app. You can pick any web app and they'll all take you to the portal. The portal also has a compass, which allows you to pick apps. So if you just get to the portal, you can pick whatever you want there. So once we're there, we pick the 3D Space app. And then that takes you to your Collaborative Space app. Good, we're there. This is where you will join and share collaborative spaces. This is where you can create additional collaborative spaces. In fact, if you know the web link, you don't even need to start out with the 3D software. In fact, that's what we'll do. We'll just go directly to the portal. We won't even open the 3DE software. Well, there's a small problem. I don't know about you, but I never remember web links. So we'll do it this way just because it's the easiest way. And besides, we don't go to the collaborative spaces that often. Good. Time for a break. Stretch your legs before we actually start with the mouse clicks. So here we are looking at my collaborative spaces. This is my stuff. Notice I already have two collaborative spaces. Actually, when I started, the IT person gave me these without me even asking. First, let's talk about adding a collaborative space. You may have already been added to the classroom collaborative space, but if you don't have one for yourself, you'll need to create that right now. Just click the Add button and enter the information that you like. It's all pretty easy. There you go. You now have a new collaborative space. As more students shared their collaborative spaces with me, you see that, oh wow, I started getting more and more collaborative spaces. Now let's talk about sharing a collaborative space that you own. You do this by adding members. So first select a collaborative space that you own and would like to share. Select the Members tab. Now, if you are the owner, you can select the icon to add members. And you'll need to type in the account name for the member you'd like to add, so you'll need to know their name. So hopefully you'll have received an email or a request and know what to type in for them. Now let's discuss joining another person's collaborative space. How do you join their spaces? Well, you don't. Remember that unlike Facebook, friend requests are not allowed. You send them some kind of an email or talk to them and let them know that you want them to add you. Then they will add you to their collaborative space. Their process of adding you is what we just went over. They add you. Now let's talk about how all this works in the classroom. Your instructor will share their collaborative space with you. They will add you as a member. That will allow you to go into that collaborative space and open a file. Once you have it open, you can save that file into your own collaborative space. And then you can modify it. You could do the homework as required and save it into your collaborative space. A lot of times you just call it, you may want to name that collaborative space something like your homework. But keep in mind, the instructor does not have access to your collaborative space unless you've given him access. You have to add the instructor as a member to your collaborative space. Then, okay, let's recap where we are. You have the concept of a collaborative space. You know that they attach to your account, kind of like a Facebook page. We showed how you can make someone a member of your collaborative space and give them a role or permissions as to what they can do in it. We also noted that you cannot join someone else's collaborative space. They have to add you. In this way, it's different from Facebook in that you can't send a friend request. Now let's look at some of the naming issues for collaborative spaces. Collaborative space names must be unique. Here, the second student is attempting to name their collaborative spaces the same as another student, and that won't work. In fact, look at the first student. He has two collaborative spaces with the same name. That won't work either. Both of them will get an error. So we need some kind of a naming policy. And the policy will be you need to put your initials on everything you do. We call this FML dash. First, middle, last, followed by a dash. You follow these rules exactly. FML goes first. It's the prefix followed by a dash. And the FML is always all caps. Okay, you can see the example of it here. It's very simple. Just follow it exactly. So you should put your initials on every collaborative space. Now let's take a look at deleting a collaborative space and some of the special issues that are involved with this. Let's say you'd like to delete a collaborative space. Well, first you have to delete everything inside the collaborative space before you can delete it. Then once everything's outside, deleted from the collaborative space, now you can delete it. But what if someone else is a member of your collaborative space and you've given them permissions that allow them to put something into your collaborative space? So even though you own your own collaborative space, they are the owners of that part. You can delete your things and you can delete your collaborative space, but you can't delete their part. They have to do it. So you have to contact them and say, hey, I want to delete this space. You need to get your part out of there, and they need to delete it. Well, sometimes if you have a lot of people with a lot of parts in your collaborative space and people away on vacations, this may take a bit of work. But you do ask them to remove their stuff, and they do. Now, in addition to having everything out of your space, you have to delete all the members from your space. That's very easy to do. You go to the Collaborative Space app, and it's very easy to just remove members. So now that it's empty and it has no members, now you can delete it. So we've gone through the complete agenda now. Now you should be comfortable with the concepts of a collaborative space, as well as the particulars of how they work. That brings us to the end of this presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to visit the website for additional 3D experience and CATIA V6 videos.